What's up, everybody? I'm Brad. Welcome to Sports Magazine Collector. Today, we're going to take a microscopic look at the Michael Jordan first Sports Illustrated cover versus the Michael Jordan rookie card. We're going to break down lots of numbers and data on the two, so stick around. So we all know that Michael Jordan is on the Mount Rushmore of athletes to collect. The guy is arguably the most famous international athlete in world history, and he is the undisputed basketball greatest of all time. So let's take a comparative look at his Sports Illustrated first cover from November 28th, 1983, as well as his primary rookie card from the 1986 Flir basketball set. Specifically, we're going to look at the pop counts to determine rarity, and we're also going to take a look at some sales data. So first off, we know that at its peak, Sports Illustrated had a little over 3 million subscribers. And of the roughly 3 million issues printed each week, only about 2.5% of those were newsstand. So we can make an estimate that there were about 75,000 newsstand issues printed weekly. And of those 75,000 newsstand issues, how many are still out there today? If you've seen my prior videos, you know I like to be extremely conservative and estimate that about 50% or 38,000 newsstand copies of each issue are still out there, even though I'm pretty confident that it is much less. So of those estimated 38,000 copies, how many are still in good condition and would receive a strong grade from CGC? You can see where I'm going with this, and that is that the Sports Illustrated issues in newsstand are extremely rare. And to show you just how rare, we're going to compare them to one of the most popular cards of all time, the 1986 Flir Michael Jordan rookie card. The 1986 Flir basketball set is a set that contains one of the holy grails in all of sports collecting, the Michael Jordan rookie card. It's estimated that this set had a print run of approximately 200,000. So that means that at the time of its printing, there were roughly 200,000 copies made of Michael Jordan's rookie card. Now, cards aren't typically just thrown away nearly as readily as a magazine. However, we can still estimate that some of those MJ rookies have been lost over time and no longer exist. We're just going to say 20%. So in that case, we will guess that there are 160,000 MJ rookie cards still in existence. And remember our approximations for Sports Illustrated, which would lead us to believe that there's only about 38,000 issues still surviving of his first cover. So that would make the SI first cover about 4 times more rare than an MJ rookie card. But let's dig into these numbers even more and look at the pop reports. In total, the 1986 Flir Michael Jordan rookie card has been graded by PSA 21,494 times. PSA is by far the most popular card grading company, so we're just going to focus on them for now. So 21,494. Now, as for Michael Jordan's first Sports Illustrated cover, there have only been 78 newsstand copies graded by CGC. So when I said earlier that we could estimate an MJ first cover to be 4 times more rare than the rookie card, these pop report numbers would actually suggest that it's 275 times more rare. Now, could an argument be made that this number is simply so low on the first covers because grading Sports Illustrated hasn't caught on yet like grading sports cards? Yes, I do think that's a valid point to make. However, let me remind you that CGC has been grading sports magazines since 2009. So that means in 13 years, only 78 copies of this issue have shown up to be graded. That is so telling to me when it comes to the rarity, and it leaves me even more confident that the number of surviving issues is way, way, way below 38,000. Now let's dig into this by grade. Since CGC has never issued a 10.0 to a Sports Illustrated, for comparison's sake, we're going to say that a CGC 9.8 is equivalent to a PSA 10. So for the Michael Jordan Flir rookie card, there are currently 318 PSA 10s, and a recent sale of that card in a PSA 10 went for $294,000. Now that's nothing because 1 year ago, several copies of that card sold for over $700,000 during the major card boom. As for his first SI cover, you can see that there are currently 0 CGC 9.8s, 318 to 0. If a 9.8 ever came up in the first MJ issue, we can only speculate what it would go for, but it would undoubtedly set the new record for a sale of a graded Sports Illustrated. Looking at PSA 9, there are 2,871 Flir Michael Jordan rookie cards currently graded at a PSA 9. For the SI first cover, there have been two 9.0s, two 9.2s, one 9.4, and one 9.6. So that's a total of 6 CGC graded issues that we'll say are roughly equivalent to the 2,871 MJ PSA 9s. PSA 9s of the Jordan rookie right now are going for around $17,000 a piece. And in the last year, there have been 0 public sales of an MJ first cover graded at 9.0 or higher. So once again, if a PSA 9 with almost 3,000 copies out there is selling for 17 grand, I'd like to think that a CGC grade 9 or higher would go for much higher than that with only 6 copies in existence. The 9.6 especially, since it's currently a pop 1 of 1 with none higher, would very possibly touch 6 figures if it hit the market. All right, we'll go ahead and take it one step further and look at the 8s. For the rookie card, there are currently 8,326 PSA 8s, and they're right now selling for an average of about $6,700. With the SI first cover, you have 3 8.5s and 9 8.0s for a total of 12 that we'll call equivalent to a PSA 8. Once again, you can see the Sports Illustrated issues are astronomically more rare. Now, there actually has been one public sale in the past year of an 8.0 newsstand copy of MJ's first cover. That issue sold in an eBay auction in October of 2021 for $3,727. Now, I have a couple thoughts about that. First off, congratulations to whoever won that auction, because that is an absolute steal for an MJ first cover graded at 8.0 when there's only 9 higher graded copies in the entire world. Secondly, I don't think it was the best decision by that seller to list the item in an eBay auction. The longest you can list an eBay auction is 10 days. And right now, these graded magazines just aren't getting as many eyes on them as sports cards are. That's because the hobby is still really unknown and it's basically in its infancy. I think listing that item on heritage auctions would have gotten the seller a lot more visibility and likely a much higher selling price. And third, even with all that being said, I'm pretty confident that that issue would sell for a lot higher today, even though that sale was only 9 months ago. Since that sale, there's been a lot of growth in the hobby in just a short period of time. The other day, a Pele first cover graded at 8.0 sold for $9,600 on heritage auctions. You also had the Gretzky first cover graded at 9.4 go for $30,000 in February. This hobby is gaining traction quickly, and it would just shock me if the MJ first cover graded at 8.0 wouldn't go for at least double the price of $3,700 today. Now, just a reminder, so far we've only looked at PSA data, but there are multiple other card grading companies out there that have graded Michael Jordan's rookie card. BGS has graded 12,868 copies of the Michael Jordan rookie card. SGC has graded 2,843, and CSG has graded another 56. So that actually brings our total of graded Michael Jordan rookie cards to just over 37,000. For Sports Illustrated, on the other hand, CGC is the only legitimate company currently grading them. So that is 37,000 graded MJ rookies versus 78 graded MJ first covers. So let's make one more adjustment to the rarity comparison. First, I said I thought that a first cover was about 4 times more rare, but then we looked at the PSA pop reports and I determined it to be 275 times more rare. But when we take the other card grading companies into account, we can now see that the MJ first cover in graded form is 477 times more rare than a graded Michael Jordan rookie card. And none of this takes into account the fact that there are also a couple other options for a Michael Jordan rookie card out there. There's the 86 Flir sticker, there's the 1984 star card. But for Sports Illustrated, there is only one first cover, period. That's it. So we could take this rarity comparison even further on how rare it is to have a Michael Jordan rookie card versus a first cover. But for now, I think you guys get the point. All right, I've hammered on rarity. Now I'm going to make a much more debatable argument, and that is that I personally think that the first cover is a lot cooler. Now, here's my reasoning. For one, MJ's rookie card did not even come out until 1986, which was his 3rd year in the NBA. That's because the NBA was struggling so much in the 80s that card companies had literally stopped producing their cards for a stretch of about 5 years in the early to mid 80s. His first cover, on the other hand, was from 1983 when MJ was a sophomore in college at North Carolina. Secondly, the rookie card really doesn't have any historical significance. It was just a manufactured piece of cardboard during MJ's third NBA season in a set that had 131 other cards. The Sports Illustrated, on the other hand, is a time-stamped moment in sports history at which time MJ and Sam Perkins were the only people in the world on the cover. It was a sign of Michael Jordan's arrival. This athlete, who would go on to be the greatest and most renowned in the history of worldwide sports, had made his mark large enough for the first time to get him on the cover of the most popular sports magazine in the United States, his first of 50 appearances on the cover. That is a legendary collectible. Now, don't get me wrong, I still think the Michael Jordan rookie card is awesome. I do not have one, and I wish that I did. And in full transparency, I do own one of the Michael Jordan first covers graded by CGC. Now, it's not in great condition. It's only a 4.0. It's got a coffee stain on the front. But once again, it's one of only 78 in the world, and I think that is pretty amazing. I want to be clear that I am not trying to hype these up for any personal gain. I am simply sharing with you the data and the facts behind why I was attracted to this hobby in the first place. When I stumbled upon the Sports Illustrated hobby, I was first taken aback by the beauty of the graded magazines, but I was really astonished once I started to dive into some of these numbers that I've shared with you today. And it's that combination of reasoning which has really led me to go all in. I know the sports card market very well, and I have seen how scarcity combined with superstar athletes can really drive value. And I'm a big believer that this Sports Illustrated hobby is going to grow for those same reasons. I want to share with everyone what I have discovered in hopes that it can help you see some of the same awesomeness and potential opportunity that I've seen with these Sports Illustrateds. Okay, if you made it through this video, I would really love to hear your thoughts and feedback. Please drop a comment below and let me know if you agree or disagree with anything I've shared. And please go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel, because I will have lots more content coming your way on the hobby of collecting sports magazines. Time for some trivia. In the last video, I mentioned that the first issue from 1954 has been the most frequently graded, with 495 copies being graded by CGC. I then asked which issue has been graded the second most times. Nobody correctly guessed the answer, which was the LeBron James first cover from February 18th, 2002. As of today, that issue has been graded 187 times. Now, carrying on with the trend, here is your trivia question for today. Which issue has been graded the third most amount of times by CGC? Leave your answer in the comments, and the first to respond correctly will get a shout out in my next video. See you guys.